Welcome to Valuechain News. I am Naomi Oleribe. First, the headlines. NUPRC set to tackle rising oil thefts. NNPC releases 516.4 million liters of petrol into the markets. House of Reps probes nationwide blackout, queries Power Minister. And now, the news in detail. As the economy continues to bleed from the negative impacts of crude oil thefts, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) yesterday set up a team of experts to carry out a thorough audit of the activities of operators in the sector in the upstream petroleum industry in the last 2 years. The commission stated that the move was to ascertain the actual volume of crude oil stolen by vandals and saboteurs against recent allegations by some industry operators regarding the volume of crude thefts on a daily basis. A statement signed by the chief executive of the commission, Mr. Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed that the panel would carry out a forensic investigation to cover the technical and commercial operations of oil companies involved in drilling and selling of crude oil. Komolafe stated that the commission was not unaware of the tragedy of oil theft, which he noted has been plaguing the industry, triggering an industry-wide initiative aimed at curbing it. This, he said, was to help increase crude production levels following an express presidential directive. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) on Tuesday announced that it had released additional 516.43 million liters of premium motor spirit (PMS), popularly referred to as petrol, to the Nigerian market. The new release, the statement said, is in addition to the 1.82 billion liters distributed into the Nigerian market within a period of 28 days, covering 14th February and March 13, adding that it was in line with efforts of the NNPC management to address the supply gap being experienced in the distribution of petrol to Nigerians. A breakdown of the 516.43 million liters showed that 80% of all the evacuation took place at the top 30 high loading depots, while the other loading depots evacuated less than 20%. It put the average daily evacuation during the week at 73.78 million liters. House of Representatives yesterday began to probe the current nationwide power outage, directing the Ministry of Power to take measures that will immediately address the challenge. Chairman, House Committee on Power, Magaji Aliyu, lamented the nonchalant attitude of the ministry whenever there is national emergency. Minister of Power, Abubakar Aliyu, had appeared before the lawmakers to shed light on the blackout. Aliyu enumerated challenges facing the sector to include low gas supply, low hydro levels, high cost of gas, as well as disequilibrium between power generation, transmission, and distribution. The minister, who was represented by Permanent Secretary Nebolisa Anoka, said all measures were being put in place to fix the problem. In his reaction, the committee chairman said, "There is nothing to show in this presentation that you are trying to resolve the problem. It is mere speech and thesis." The chairman had earlier explained that the interactive session was necessitated by the fact that Nigerians were facing the worst energy crisis in recent times. The committee directed the minister to return on Friday with more practical evidence of planned interventions. A refinery land of about 29 square kilometers in Kabale parish of western Uganda has become a source of conflict between cultivators, cattle keepers, government, and local leaders in the country. The land was acquired by government in 2012 for the construction of refinery. The proposed refinery project also comprises an industrial park, international airport, storage facilities for crude oil, finished products, transmission hub, logistics, warehousing, offices, petrochemical industries, and associated facilities, among others. Local leaders said due to prolonged drought in the area, pastoralists have taken advantage and invaded the refinery land since last year, with the most affected villages being Nyahaira, Kabale, Kaitgwa, and Rugashali. Ms. Angela Ambaho Karisa, the Uganda National Oil Company UNOC Public Relations and Corporate Affairs Manager, told Daily Monitor early this week that they had forwarded reports of encroachment to the Hoima RDC. We have reported the issue to the resident district commissioner. He convened a meeting in Kabale last week and was attended by all leaders of Kabale, UNOC, UPDF, and the police, she said. Leaders from European Union countries are expected to agree at a summit this week to jointly purchase gas, liquefied natural gas, and hydrogen ahead of next winter, according to a draft of their summit statement. The invasion of Ukraine by Russia, Europe's top gas supplier, has caused energy prices to soar and record highs and put the EU on a mission to cut Russia gas use this year, a move that will require a jump in imports from other suppliers such as Qatar and the United States. The European Commission last year proposed a system for EU countries to jointly buy strategic stocks of gas, which some members, including Spain, has called for as a way to provide a buffer against potential supply disruptions. The House of Representatives has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to reinforce the use of coins as a legal tender and ensure that banks comply with the use of coins to the fullest. The members had at the plenary on Tuesday unanimously adopted the motion moved by Muda Umar titled "Call on the Central Bank of Nigeria to reinforce the use of coins as a legal tender in Nigeria." Umar, while moving the motion, recalled that a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lamido Sanusi, on February 28, 2007, reissued 50 naira, 20 naira, 10 naira, and 5 naira banknotes with new designs, as well as the coining of 1 naira and 50 kobo, while a new 2 naira coin was introduced as part of the economic reforms. The lawmaker said, despite the huge budgetary sum that was expended by the federal government in the the production of coins as part of the country's legal tender, the said coins seem to be extinct at the moment. The day-to-day business transactions of ordinary Nigerians have been significantly affected, as well as the lack of coins and other lower denominations have resulted in prices being summed up to the nearest naira equivalent, a situation that can be best described as inflation in economic terms, he said. Before we end the news, here's a recap of our headlines. NUPRC set to tackle rising oil thefts. NNPC releases 516.4 million liters of petrol into the markets. House of Representatives probes nationwide blackout, queries Power Minister. And that's the news. I am Naomi Oleribe. Good evening.